everybody, it's Karen at Simply Living for Him. I'm here to do my daily devotion. These devotions are back for 2021. They will be uploaded to the YouTube channel every single day, and also you can find them in the Simply Living for Him online women's community. If you are encouraged by them, I would love for you to share them with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or join us in the community. Today I wanted to build a little bit on yesterday's devotion. So if you missed yesterday's, you can go look at that one as well. But we talked yesterday about, not getting ahead of yourself. And today I really wanted to look at the other side of that. Often we can get stuck in the future, like worrying about the future or thinking about the future and not really living in the present. But we also can get very stuck living in the past and dwelling in the past. And, we aren't living in the present. It's so funny as human beings how often we are only given this moment right now, but what do? We live in the past or we live in the future. And so, many of us will look at past times and kind of like long for the days, long ago. And, we think about, what was, but we're missing so much of what is right now. And, I can relate to this so much because I have a daughter who's home on college break for Christmas, and we had a great time with her. And all of a sudden we're getting ready to send her back. And I start to think about, remember when we did this? Remember when we did that? I just want it to stay the same. I remember when she went off to college for the very first time. And one of the biggest things I remember thinking was, I just want things to stay the same. I don't want her to go off and start a whole new life. I want things to stay the same. And when I look back at that, I've actually said to my daughter, what a fool I was for saying that. Because now when I look back, I'm like, why would I have wanted things to stay the same? Because now that we have, gotten past that point and I see all the things that God has done in her life, what a fool for me wanting to keep things the same. I think often we idealize the past a little bit too much. You know what I mean? If you're a mom, you'll idealize, when they were babies, or, when we, did this thing, or we went on that vacation, or, you idealize what was. But I remember living in that moment. There was a lot of struggle and hardship. So I think sometimes our memories also cloud, what actually happened. But it's a very odd thing to live in the past because, it's okay to think back and it's okay to look back and it's okay to remember, but it's not okay to live there or to stay there or to dwell there because it keeps you from going forward. And God is always in the act of helping us move forward. Life constantly moves forward. The clock is ticking, time doesn't stand still, and there's always new things for us to learn and grow from and to do and to serve. And God has a purpose and a plan for us that his purpose and his plan for us existed in the past, but it's still continuing on. So nothing is stagnant, nothing stays still. We have to go into our future. So we don't want to, dwell on the past, but we want to use our past maybe to affect today. And then that will affect the future. It's an odd thing not to, like I said, as humans, I think we're very emotion based. So we are emotional and we will base, our decisions and our attitudes and our actions based on our emotions, and we'll think about what was and we'll think about what is to come, but we're really forgetting what is right here in the here and now. It says in Isaiah 43:18, do not call to mind the former things or ponder things of the past. Behold, I will do something new. Now it will spring forth. Will you not be aware of it? I will make a roadway in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. So here God is speaking, and he's speaking through Isaiah's book, and he's saying, he's speaking to the Israelites and saying, like, don't dwell on the things. So he's really talking about like suffering and sin and captivity and all these things. And he's saying, don't dwell on that. I'm doing something new. And, God is always doing something new, right? And there's that. But then I also think, but there's many times, in Isaiah or other places where God does, or, whoever's writing talks about the things of the past, like remember how God split the sea, or remember like the miracles that he has done. So there is this aspect, like, we don't totally forget it and wipe it from our memory, but it's what do we do with that? Number one, we learn from it, right? When we recall the things of the past, the great things that God has done, we don't stay there. We recall it because it will affect our today, which will affect our tomorrow. And we learn from it and we grow from it. And we do want to remember, the great things that God has done. It's just that we don't want to get stuck and stay there. And on the other hand, a lot of people are hindered by a past that maybe isn't so rosy, right? Maybe there's things in your past that hinder you because they're traumatic, or there's, unforgiveness, or there's a situation that happened that you just can't get past. So those are the things too. I think God wants us to recognize them, but he doesn't want us to live there, because then we are stuck. Our life, whatever happened before, is done, is over. We only have this moment. And as I talked about yesterday, a lot of people then get caught up in living for the future and thinking about the future so much that they're not living today. So it's a complicated thing for us as humans to really focus on what is God doing in this moment, remembering and learning from the past, but not getting stuck there, not staying there, and not constantly saying, oh, it was so much better when, because that doesn't allow us to see all the good that is right now. Many of us may be saying, it was so much better before 2020. I want to go back to that life. But that's not the life we're in right now. We're in 2021. And no matter what happens today or in this year to come, the circumstances, no matter what happens around us, God is doing something new. The circumstances don't define us, God does. It's how we are acting in those circumstances. What are we doing with those circumstances? So don't get stuck in the past. Don't get stuck in living for the future. Live in this moment. You get one eye a little bit on the past to learn from, one eye looking ahead, but not putting all your security in either one of those places. We only know what we know right now. God is doing something new each moment, and we need to stay so close to him in his word and really, really focused on him that we don't get so caught up in the past or in the future, but in what he's doing right here, right now, in this moment. Focus on who he is, our God that is always working, that is sovereign over our lives. We can trust him no matter what happens, and we can live right for this moment that we have today. If you enjoy these devotions, I would encourage you to subscribe, to share them with your friends, and to let me know, and I will see you again tomorrow. I wish you all the blessings and joy in Jesus today.